Good morning. Happy Thursday. It's early today. I gotta get an early start. Crazy day. It's about 6:45 Eastern. I wanted to talk about being the hardest instructor. So a couple things that kind of triggered this as people are getting back in the studio, getting back to riding, really excited to get back to riding, or even if you're teaching virtual classes or you're still preparing to get back into your studio or gym, we often want to be seen as, I don't know why, I have a lot of instructors who always want to be the hardest instructor. If one of your clients or somebody at the gym or studio said, oh, XYZ is the hardest, I love taking his or her classes, etc. It seems like kind of a trophy for a lot of people, which is cool. I think I just want to explain a little bit behind that because it is great if you are a perceived very hard instructor because you know how to motivate and you know how to push. You could have a pretty simple class laid out. It doesn't need to be complicated, have a bunch of intricate things going on. And the power of your voice and your motivation is what could make you seem so hard, right? Because people are so in it with you. They never stop, they never quit. They're just the whole way trucking along. That will make a class hard. I think the problem comes in when we strive so hard to be that hard instructor because we see value in it and we make class unachievable. So I think it's really important to remember that people want to come and feel like they did something, they achieved something in class. They came out feeling proud of themselves. If you make class so hard, maybe it's hard enough that even you're struggling through it, because remember, it's not your workout, it's theirs. If you make class equivalent to what you would want, and you make it so hard that people are not keeping up with you half the time, they likely will not come back. Whether they're, extreme athletes or brand new to class, if it's not achievable, they won't consider you a good instructor because they won't consider you able to pull the best out of them. They'll either have to give up and take breaks and feel like they didn't achieve what they wanted to, or maybe they're brand new and they couldn't do any of it. So just remember, when you're trying to be a hard instructor, that's a great goal, but just remember that a hard instructor, a good hard instructor, is someone who's able to push people to what their hard is, not a standard of, this is hard, get there. Hopefully that makes sense. Motivating and bringing energy yourself is what's going to get people there. So you have to have the power to keep them engaged, keep them from quitting when they don't need to quit. Of course, take breaks when you need them, get water, refuel, come back ready to go. But when you're in it hard. You're in it with me. You're not dilly-dallying, you're not moseying, you're working. That's why you're there, right? So that kind of motivation, that's what makes you a perceived hard instructor, but they can still do it. And that's the best feeling as a client, as a rider, right? Like, oh, they're so hard, they're so intense, but yeah, I do it. I go to her class all the time. I go to his class all the time. So keep that in mind as you're starting to build your classes. I think a lot of people right now are kind of coming back from a lot of time off, and maybe you're not even quite there yet. You almost have to remember how to build a class. You have to remember what level of hard, what level of motivation to get to that level is necessary. It's a lot of relearning right now, which is a good thing, right? Because we can kind of get rid of those old habits that maybe we got used to that we don't need anymore, or create new habits that make our classes better. So we can talk more about that. If you guys are kind of in this space where you're starting to get back to teaching, let me know what you're struggling with or what is different than it was before. Obviously, the classes are smaller and that sort of thing. Maybe you're wearing masks. But if there are other things going on there that you want to talk about that we need to train to be better for, let me know and we'll go through it. But if you missed this, hey, Jesse, you can head back and watch from the beginning, just talking about the difference between being a good hard instructor and a bad hard instructor. Hopefully that made some sense and you guys are with me on that. I will see you next week. Take care and have a good rest of your week.